Hey there, welcome to Revved Up Reflections this week. I'm just going to go over a little story that happened involving a nice custom shovelhead build from probably 20 years ago or so, a little bit less than 20 years, but around that time I had my own shop and had a local guy had a nice custom chopper shovelhead build that he brought in for some transmission work. And had it in the shop there. Thank God I hadn't started on it yet. But the local state cop, License and Theft Bureau guy from the DMV comes by and wants to know if I have this bike in the shop. And he didn't know what bike it was. He just says guy's name. I knew who it was right off the bat. So I asked him why. He's like, well, I need to take that bike. You need to do what? I need to take the bike. So I'm like, well, I need to call the customer first before anything else. So I go and try and get a hold of the customer and can't get a hold of him, talk to his wife. And he told me that as soon as she gets a hold of him, he'll call me right back. Because I already told him what was going on. So this, in the meantime, cop says, well, I'm taking that bike today. And then he's asking me questions because he wants to go see the bike. So I'm over there looking at it with him. And he says, well, that frame's been restamped. I said, no, that frame is a custom frame. That's the manufacturer's number right there. You should know that. You're the licensed theft guy. I'm not. So he's like, well, how do you know it's a legitimate number? I said, you see the first four digits of the VIN there? That's going to tell you the frame manufacturer. You need to go call them and make sure that that frame number matches up with what we have here, what's on the title. So anyway, he's not going to do that because he's, Mr. All-Powerful guy. So meanwhile, guy that owns the bike calls me back. And he said, yeah, go ahead and let them take it. They're going to give it right back to me. I'm like, you sure, Mark? Yeah. So they take the bike, and I take pictures of it before it goes because I know how this crap goes. Took pictures of everything on the bike. My little digital camera, because this is before smartphones. So I'm taking little pictures of everything on the bike. Front end, tank, fenders, wheels, left side, right side, front, back, everything. And a tow truck comes to get it. I guess they were contracted to the state police or whatever, because he comes to get the bike and he almost drops the thing 3 times putting it on the tow truck. And they had this little, it's a flatbed rollback tow truck, but they got this little dolly on there where they put the front wheel in the little dolly and then pull it up there, and it pulls the whole bike up onto the rollback. So he gets it up there, and he almost drops it down too. So I was like, crap. So the state cop is like, well, I don't know if you're going to get that bike back or not. Well, that's you guys' business, not mine. That's between you and the owner of the bike, not me. So they take the bike, and about probably 2 days later, they bring it back. And before he even gets it off the rollback, I take pictures of it again. That's while it's up on the rollback. I'm taking pictures of the front, the back, the other side, everything. And that state cop's looking at me. He's like, what are you doing? Taking pictures, man, just like I took pictures of it before it left here. So if there's any damage on it, I can compare the two. And you guys can pay for it. So I asked the cop, I'm like, because I already know, I'm like, well, the guy that owns the bike has had the bike for 5 or 6 years already. So, meaning he's had a title on it for 5 or 6 years. I'm talking to the cop, and I'm like, you mean it took you guys 5 or 6 years to decide before you should look into this because you thought the VIN number might look fishy? Did you contact the frame manufacturer for the MSO? Yep. It was cool, wasn't it? Yep. So what was actually going on here? Well, apparently North Carolina was doing a big sting operation of trying to get some stolen bikes or something. That they had all these bikes that were coming out somewhere in West Virginia. So they were working with the West Virginia State Police and North Carolina State Police, and I guess a couple others. This guy was building these bikes up there in West Virginia somewhere and must have screwed up on something, or somebody got suspicious of what he was doing. Who knows what was going on? Anyway, there was nothing wrong with the bike. A VIN number matched, motor number was good. Everything was good on the bike. The cop, though, whew, man, I don't know how he got his job because he wasn't very intelligent when it comes to anything to do with the DMV, which he should be because that's where he works at. I mean, he was asking me what VIN numbers mean. What are these numbers on the triple trees? What are these numbers on the transmission? Well, how could you tell? I mean, asking me, how could you tell if something's legitimate or not? I was like, well, basically by the numbers. The only numbers you got are engine numbers and frame numbers. Numbers on the triple tree don't mean a damn thing. They just don't. You don't have numbers on wheels. Any other number on the bike doesn't mean anything. You should know that. You're the guy that works for the DMV. And ended up, it was cool, but I guess moral of the story is make sure that if you have a custom-made vehicle or if you're doing one yourself, make sure you get the MSO with the frame and an engine. If you get an engine from somebody, you buy like an S&S engine or an Ultima or whatever, you need to make copies of that MSO and keep them on file for yourself. And for the frame too. Because when you go to register this thing to get it registered, they're going to want copies of the MSO for the frame and the engine. And they're probably going to want to know where you got the rest of the parts from too. They want receipts for that crap. Did you buy it from a legitimate source? Basically is what they're trying to figure out. Are all the parts stolen off of it? So just be careful with that stuff. That being said, I had a run-in with one a really long time ago that tried to give me crap about cutting the neck off of a frame. And keeping it, because it was good numbers on the neck, but the frame was trashed. And whatever, I didn't like that because I had made basically I used that head with the numbers on it so I could title it with that steering head because it's off the frame number. And I made a new frame, used only that stock steering head. The guy had, evidently, the guy that was inspecting it knew a little bit. We're not talking about state inspector as far as pulling your bike in and getting inspected. We're talking about a police inspector. The DMV inspector is what they call them in Maryland. Down here, they call them License and Theft Bureau. But he had some semblance of what a motorcycle should look like and what this bike's frame looks like. And at first, he put up a stink about me making a frame for this steering head. And then I guess he found out there was really nothing he could do about it. There probably was something he could do about it. I guess he had asked somebody that they told him that there was nothing he could do about it. Somebody higher up in his agency, probably. Because it was a good VIN number off that old stinking crashed up frame. But I'm sure it's probably illegal somewhere. But not that anybody would really know these days. What they do now is you go in to get a bike and they want you to get their VIN plate. They want to drill holes in your frame and have them rivet their VIN plate to your frame, which you can get a title off of that, just like if you do a trailer, home built trailer. They're going to do the same thing. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a little story there. Hope everybody has a good week, and thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing all that stuff, and really appreciate it. I do. Everybody take care. Thank you.